Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Maya and today I am going to be talking about Class Acts by Jerry Craft. Ooh, there it is. Ugh. I'll have it up here. This one I read as an ebook. It is a graphic novel and the sequel to New Kid by Jerry Craft, which I don't recall if I reviewed on this channel, but I did read New Kid by Jerry Craft and I absolutely loved it. And so the sequel was A+ for me. This book follows Jordan, but specifically his friend Drew. And Drew, if you read New Kid in the first book, Drew is Jordan's dark-skinned black friend. Jordan is a lighter-skinned kid, black kid, but still black. And they are both in this prestigious private school called Riverdale Academy Day School, and it's predominantly white, though there are some other kids of color in the school, and they are trying to figure out their life. They both live in the Bronx, and Riverdale is also in the Bronx, though Jordan talks about in the book how it doesn't seem like to people that go to Riverdale that they're still in the Bronx. And Jordan is a cartoonist, so it's told and written like he is drawing the day-to-day of what's happening to them, and he really wants to go to art school at some point in time. This doesn't necessarily have a plot to it. It's just literally their first semester or first year through 8th grade. In the first book, they're in 7th grade and they're new kids. And so a lot of issues happened in the first book dealing with racism and microaggressions, specifically from faculty and certain students. This year, they're hoping to start fresh, but they're still trying to discover themselves with Drew. It's trying to combat doing things he loves, like he wants to play basketball, but he also doesn't want to feed into that stereotype of being a black kid that plays basketball. And Jordan, poor Jordan, he's just turned 13, but he hasn't hit his manliness yet. His friends have had growth spurts. Everyone is starting to smell, have body odor, and he's just like, I still smell like flowers. I laughed so much reading this book. It is absolutely adorable. There are still microaggressions, things that I have dealt with when my hair is out in curliness, with people trying to touch your hair. There are so many Easter eggs in this novel. The first time I realized it was one of the chapter titles. It was called Invisible Me, and there's this really cute graphic novel called Invisible Emmy, and it was the same exact coloring. It was that. And so then as you're going through, you realize, oh, he's making a play on other middle grade graphic novels is what I'm trying to say. I think the first one is like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Well, not all of them are graphic novels, because there was one called Life of Pi, and that's not. But so many Easter eggs sprinkled throughout. I'd say this is more like a Giant Days kind of novel, but for kids, where it's just like no plot, it's just going day to day, but it is following Drew's story and him trying to work through a new semester, dealing with new microaggressions and trying to learn who he is. And they also have this friend Liam, who is white, and he is from an upper class family. They have a ginormous house with an indoor pool that's heated, and his mom doesn't work and his dad does all the time. And so Dre is trying to figure out his feelings around Drew being the kind of person who has all this money but doesn't flaunt it, where he knows other kids in his school that does have money and does flaunt it, or maybe they don't and they just think they do. But where Drew comes from, living in this like tiny bedroom apartment with his grandma who works, doesn't rest, and it just all seems kind of unfair. And he's trying to wrestle with his old friends in his town and being in the school and people making assumptions about him and making assumptions about his friends, and just learning to forgive and accept and move on and grow. And I thought that was really, really good. Yeah, so I highly suggest checking out Class Act by Jerry Craft. And if you didn't check out New Kid by Jerry Craft, go back and check that one out first and then go to this one. And let me know in the comments below what you thought when you read both books or one of the books. And that's it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.